Welcome back to Wash Talk, the car wash podcast. I'm your host, Rich DePaulo, and joining me today is Colin Weatherwax, CEO of Cars for Kids. Colin, so great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
Yeah, not a problem. You know, in general, the car wash industry, and I don't know if you're familiar with the car wash industry intimately as I am, but very generous people in general, a very generous industry, always looking to give back and get the communities that they serve involved in charitable donations and such. So wanted to get you on the program here today, Colin, to learn a little bit more about your nonprofit organization, Cars for Kids, and really how car wash owners and operators can get involved. So sounds good?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to dive in.
All right, sounds good. So Colin, why don't you give us a little bit more uh, explanation about your background and how you got started with Cars for Kids?
Yeah, I guess that's probably the reason why I'm here talking to you today, right? So, I was once 18, like most of us have been. I was fresh out of high school. I was working at a doggy daycare, actually, and remember being offered an opportunity to come out to Cars for Kids on an auction day, which happened to be on Saturdays, and kind of see how the operation works and see if it might be something I might be interested in switching careers over to. And immediately just kind of fell in love, right? I mean, if you've ever been to an auction, it's intoxicating. It gets the adrenaline pumping, and it's just an all-on or a full-on just like party, it feels like, right? So immediately hooked after that experience, and shortly after that, just tendered my 2 weeks notice to the doggy daycare and began my career at Cars for Kids, actually washing the cars that were donated to us. And so probably the main reason why I'm talking to you today, Rich, is just because, being where I am now, 13 years later, as a CEO of Cars for Kids, I can appreciate, my roots and where I came from and where I started, and truly, look down at everyone that works for me and say, hey, I've done that before. I've been there before, and I can still do that if needed.
Yeah, so important to have that trait as a team leader. I actually just wrote about that in a recent editor's note for Professional Car Washing and Detailing magazine. But what was so special about Cars for Kids as you went from, as you say, a car washer to the CEO? What was so special about this nonprofit that really motivated you to establish and grow your career there?
Yeah, it's a great question. Because as I started out, washing cars in the dead heat of summer in Dallas, Texas, doesn't sound sexy, right? So it didn't take long for me to realize, that coming to work and doing that type of job, it was a lot bigger than what it was actually, what the meat and potatoes of the actual job was, right? Being able to kind of see the difference that not only I was making by getting these cars ready to sell, but the organization and the changes that what we were doing were impacting so many lives. It just made it seem like my job was so much bigger than it actually was. And my purpose for cleaning these cars and getting these cars ready and getting them online and pictures and everything like that, everything that it takes to sell a car, everything was so much bigger than just the job itself. And being able to see the fruits of our labor, and that's the kids getting a second chance to their high school diploma, sometimes a first chance. And these are kids that are not necessarily bad kids, right? They just have been dealt a bad hand. It ranges from kids that dropped out of school that just wanted to take care of their family, right? Either financially or just be there for them emotionally. And, that segment of their life passed by and they were ready to go get their high school diploma, and being able to be a part of selling that vehicle, generating funds to give that kid an opportunity to build a better future, it meant more to me than anything.
Yeah, so important and special. I'm sure you've had a lot of special moments throughout your time with Cars for Kids, but is there one moment or one project as you reflect back on your time with this nonprofit here? Is there one moment or project that really stands out above the others?
Ooh, that's a difficult one, right? Because there's so many things that we've done, and I've been here 13 years, so I can kind of say I've seen the gambit, right? I can give an example of one kid that actually is employed by us right now. He dropped out of school because his mom got sick, right? Mom got sick. He wanted to stay home. He wanted to care for his mother. His dad was also working. His sister was a little bit younger than him. And he knew that he wanted to take care of his mom, and so he had to drop out of public school. She started to take a turn to get better, which that's a great sign. And he was able to take that and you know go back to school and continue to work, continue to support his family, and continue to get that education. And now, hopefully, in the next month or two, he'll be walking across the stage, which is something that was very important to him. It was very important to his family. So many times he could have given up. So many times he could have said, you know what, I'm just going to go get my GED. I already have a job in place. It's not a requirement to have a high school diploma, but his determination and wanting to make his family proud and wanting to tell his family and show his family, hey, I can do this, is kind of the reason why we're here, right? So that's one that sticks out, and there's many stories like that. There's stories that just in the past couple of years that are a little bit different. We have partnered with the YMCA that had focused on a summer learning academy program that we supported and a safety around water course that we supported. So helping kids bridge the gap during the summertime, making sure they don't fall backwards whenever it comes to reading. And then also on the safety around water course, teaching kids a life skill, right? Our mission is to give kids an opportunity to build a better future. And let's face it, if you don't know how to swim, there might not be an opportunity for a future, let alone a better future. And the last organization that we partner with is the San Diego Center for Children, which focuses on mental health services for kids and their families, which over the past few years has just become more of a norm. I think the stigma is finally gone whenever it comes to mental health and mental health awareness. And being able to say that we support kids through donating a vehicle in those ways is just life changing.
Yeah, certainly sounds like special partnerships, and we wish that young man all the best moving forward. Getting his degree certainly must be special for the family and the Cars for Kids team as well, right?
Absolutely.
So obviously, as I mentioned off the top here, Colin, car wash owners and operators are very generous, charitable people by nature. So, in what ways can car wash owners and operators, as well as their customers, really get involved and contribute to Cars for Kids?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we've been kind of evolving ever since my tenure began about 2 years ago as CEO, looking for those partnerships, right? And a lot of the business world, it's like a vendor transaction. A lot of the dealings are transactional, but for us, we want relationships, right? We want partnerships, and we want to be able to say, hey, we partner with this organization, or we partner with this media conglomerate, and it's a true partnership whenever we say that word. And so whenever you ask the question about like car washers and organizations like that, companies like that, there's lots of ways that we can kind of get involved, right? So the one that kind of jumps out to mind right now is we have a public auction in the Dallas Fort Worth area that we could partner with car washes across the Metroplex and say, hey, if you purchase a vehicle from us, go here. Your first wash is on us. And then after that, maybe you can sign up for a subscription plan or et cetera, et cetera. And we turn out anywhere from 300 to 500 cars a month. And all these vehicles are donated, right? So they're not the prettiest sometimes. And we don't necessarily have the time to run them through a car wash or a professional car wash before we sell them. So why not, on the back end, offer that to our customers, right? And then on the front end, for car wash owners or anyone that's kind of in the business, if they have customers that kind of bring their cars through and they're like, hey, I'm looking to maybe look to upgrade my car soon. Having signage in those car washes that show, hey, if you're interested in donating, choose this organization because we are transparent as they come. We know that donating a vehicle, you have so many options whenever you go to donate a vehicle, right? There's so many different entities that you could donate to. But with us, we want to make sure that whenever you donate to us, the money that we raise through the sale of that vehicle goes directly to support those kids that I'm talking about today.
Yeah, I want to follow up a little bit on that, Colin. Here, my last question: what should our audience know when finding reputable nonprofit organizations such as Cars for Kids? What do they need to know to make sure it's a credible organization and their charity and their efforts are going to a good cause for sure?
It's a great question, Rich. And honestly, in the nonprofit world, there's so many different organizations that you can donate to, as you know, kind of part of the reason for the question, right? And for us, we love to say that we're transparent, but not only do we love to say it, we love to show it, right? So as a nonprofit, you have to open up your books to the IRS, and all of that information has to be public information. And so we love getting our financials out there for everyone to see because, again, we have nothing to hide. If you have a question about how we're raising the funds, how we're making the money, and where the money goes ultimately, you can either pick up the phone and ask us, or you can go find out, just by looking at our tax returns. And it doesn't take a CPA, it doesn't take a tax professional to kind of look at those. I'm no CPA or tax professional, and I can sit there and compare and contrast, all day long. And for us and for nonprofits, there are so many different resources out there for you to go and find out, okay, this is the organization that I want to donate to. Are they actually doing what they say they're doing? One, for instance, that comes to mind is GuideStar. GuideStar is a really good platform for you to go and do research on nonprofits. And it's front of mind for me right now because we just got the Platinum Seal of Transparency for the year 2024 at the beginning of March, which is super important for us. As I mentioned throughout the show so far, transparency is a huge word that we use around here. But not only do we use it, we live by it. And getting that seal of transparency at the platinum level is the top level that you can get at GuideStar. We also have a great nonprofits.org badge that shows that we receive reviews from our donors that put us in the upper echelon of nonprofit organizations, right? And anyone can go out there, buy up all the marketing, load your computers, load your emails, load your radio stations, TV stations, what have you, with ads. And some of them do. We also have a marketing campaign. We have marketing plans, but what we hang our hat on is doing it right and being transparent and making sure that our donors know the difference that they make when they pick up the phone and donate a vehicle to us.
Great, and congratulations on achieving that seal of transparency. It certainly sounds very important for sure. So is there a website or URL, a phone number? Where can our listeners go to find more information?
Absolutely. It's carsforkids.org, CRSFORKIDS. We spell it right. We do it right. Everything that you need is on the website. You can fill out a quick form. You can have one of our representatives give you a call or continue on and give us all the information on our website that we need in order to get that vehicle picked up. And, we love to say that we remove obstacles for the kids that we support. We also like to remove obstacles for our donors, right? We want to work around their schedule to get that vehicle picked up. We want to make sure that the process is as easy as possible. We obviously offer a 1098C tax form, tax deduction. So that comes given at any donation that we receive. And then we also offer a $50 gift card, which we've partnered with a site called Tremendous, and they offer you the ability to choose which gift card you want, right? We used to give out Visa gift cards and they were the actual plastic card. You lose them in the mail, you lose them in the closet, you lose them on your counter. But with this partnership, we actually text you a code, and you can choose Amazon. You can choose your favorite restaurant. You can choose your favorite clothing store, and kind of personalize it a little bit more for you. Because we know that we don't have a cookie cutter system, right? Our kids don't fit into a cookie cutter system. Why are we going to make our donors? We want to make it as easy as possible, and give as much back as we can.
Well, that's certainly that gift card certainly sounds tremendous, pun intended. But I thank you for taking the time here, Colin, and helping us learn a little bit more about your nonprofit organization, Cars for Kids, and keep up the great work. All right.
Thank you, Rich. And remember, right off the car, not the kid.
Sounds good. Thanks, Colin.